Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Purposeful Mindset podcast. I'm honestly so grateful that you're subscribed to my podcast, and I'm excited to share yet another episode with you. This podcast is all about bringing servant leaders to share their stories and life experiences with you all in the hopes to help more people to find their true purpose and meaning to life. Today I have such an incredible guest. I literally cannot wait for you to listen to his wisdom. His name is Ferdaus Amzah, and he runs a creative branding and marketing entity who really believes in the responsibility he has as a member of the human race to fulfill the purpose of why we are put on this earth. Part of that purpose is to use the knowledge and skills we have to do good. He has spent more than a decade since 2004 in this industry of branding and design. 6 of those years saw him working in a HR tech company where he first learned about branding, but from a very unique perspective. In this episode, Ferdaus shares his thoughts on why we must all find our true purpose and work towards building something for ourselves one day so we can live a more fulfilled life. Without further ado, let's get straight into this episode. Hey Ferdaus, thank you so much for being with me on the Purposeful Mindset podcast. Bro, I'm super grateful to have you on. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. I genuinely can't wait for you to share your story, your message, your powerful kind of story that you've already shared with me. And I want to go straight into it, man. Please, could you introduce yourself to my listeners and just go straight into like your story, what it is that you're doing right now, but where it is that you started.
Sure. So thanks for having me, Sadiq. Really appreciate it. So my name is Ferdaus, and I am from Singapore. I run a branding agency called New Entity. So we've been around for about 6 years now, coming to 6 years. And I mean, the reason, if we look back at why I started this, to be honest, essentially, I wanted to just after having a good period of time where I had a day job, I just wanted to try out on my own. I just jump into freelancing. But I was very fortunate to have mentors, and my ex-boss, he kind of like even coached me to and guided me saying that, you know, if you want to really understand what people are going through in business, you need to be running a business. So that made me think a lot. And he said, if I want, he's happy to coach me or guide me along the process. So I was very, very fortunate to have a lot of guidance in at least the first few years of my business. But it actually opens up a lot of, in terms of my perspective on the challenges that business owners face. And it made like how I talk to them a lot more relatable now that I understand the challenges I'm going through them myself.
Yeah. That makes sense, right? It's like, I always tell people, it's like trying to help someone when you haven't helped yourself. It's that concept, right? Of, like I always share, you first in life, I believe we have to be selfish before we become selfless. So before you can go out and think you're Superman or Superwoman and you can help everybody in the world and, you know, you can spread your love and positivity and energy, are you looking after yourself? Are you looking after your own positivity, your own energy, your own kind of life goals first before you go and do it for others, right? So I guess your coach was amazing in terms of he taught you how to go and run a business first, to fail, to make mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, and then you have a better perspective to give people advice. To be like, hey, I've been there, I've done it. Come, let me hold your hands and let's go and like let's help you grow now.
And it's kind of interesting because he was my previous boss, and I've had a good 5 years of watching him. And of course, the perspective of an employee is completely different, and I can totally understand how people are viewing me right now. But you know, seeing how he runs the show as the boss, and then going through the journey myself, and then gaining that wisdom from him over the years, and reflecting back, oh, he did this at that time, and all that wisdom start to come out, right, as to why he does certain things. It's very retrospective, and it really helps. It helps you make good decisions, I guess. Yeah,
I love that. So talking about actually, just because you ended on good decisions, tell us some of the bad decisions you've made in your life. Like, tell everybody, like, what are some like mistakes or failures or some of the bad decisions you've made?
I guess I'm the kind of person who loves to listen to advice, and there are a lot of times where I took advice kind of like without thinking about thinking much about it, like blinded advice. Just listen to people. I think they know more than me. They probably go through a lot more than me. And all right, I'm just going to do it. And there are some of those things that didn't turn out well, and some that actually cost us quite a lot in the long run. But I think the important thing that I've learned out of all that is to be confident in yourself. And nobody knows what you're going through better than yourself, right? So people can give advice, but you make the choice on your own.
That's you said that, bro, and it reminded me of my most viral video on TikTok. When I the most viral video on TikTok that I have is reached like I think almost 1.7 million people views.
Wow.
And like that was the most viral video I've had in my life. And I was just like so grateful, so pumped when that first went viral. And you know what I said, bro? It was a 15.6-second video. All I said was this: nobody knows you. Nobody knows what's happening in your life. Nobody knows what's happening in your mind. Nobody knows what's happening in your life. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself. So ignore the negativity and the noise out there and focus on being the best you. That's it. That video went absolutely viral in the whole of India, the whole of UK and America. Like, because I looked at the statistics afterwards, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like almost the whole of India has seen my video, and all the followers came from there. And I was like, "Wow!" Like, obviously it was a really cool. It was a cool experience. It took my TikTok account from 4,000 to 12,500 in 48 hours, and I was just like, "Wow!" Like one video, if one video can do that. And that's why I believed in myself for the last 5 years, putting out content online. And I always knew, Sadiq, you are one video away from going viral. I believed it, right, in my heart. I knew I'm doing good. I knew I'm putting out positivity and motivation and inspiration into the world. And I knew one day, Sadiq, your video will go viral. The only other viral video I had, the two of them that I had on Instagram, they reached 12,500 views. That was like the most viral I had about 3 years ago. But this one, obviously this year, during quarantine, a lot of people are at home, they're on TikTok, they're having fun, they're looking for entertainment. Suddenly they come across me on the For You page, right? And they're like, who's this guy? And I'm talking about ignore the negativity and the noise. They're like, yeah. And they needed that positivity, right? They needed that motivation because they're going through a hard time and they need to hear someone like me to come and inspire them and be like, hey, it's okay. Don't listen to the negative people out there. They're going to tell you can't do it. They're going to tell you you're never going to make it. They're going to be the ones that keep pushing you down because they're either jealous or they don't want you to succeed. And so my message just helped a lot of people, I guess. And I was so grateful when that happened. And even till today, there's people still watching that video. They're still coming back. And the whole point I'm kind of mentioning that is because, just like you said, bro, I think if we don't go through challenges and mistakes and failures in our life, I don't think we'll be the people that we are today. We won't be as strong as we are. We won't have the resilient mindset that we have. And we just won't have that growth mindset, right? We'll just be like another employee, go to work, come back home and, not learn anything new. No challenges, nothing, just a comfortable life, right? But a boring, comfortable life.
And that's fine for a lot of people, right? Like,
yeah.
But you got to be happy with what you are going through in life. If you're not, then do something about it, right?
I agree, man. 100%. So I'm just curious, bro. So someone listening right now, right? Let's say they're just working, right? They're working, they're an employee, just like how you are, just like how you were, and just like how I still am. What would you say to that person to find some kind of drive? Like, how did they find the drive? How did you find your drive to be like, hey, I want to go do my own thing?
So like for me, it's a matter of pulling and pushing, right? There's pull factors and there's push factors. So I worked in a previous company. It had an awesome work culture. Everybody there was great. It was a global company, right? And I had the best time of my life working in that kind of culture for like two years or so. But as the company grew, of course, when people put in the work, business got better and the company grew. There are more people there are more bureaucracies, and you start to feel like, well, I can do this outside and, get all the profits for myself. Like, why am I putting in all this time for the big boys? And then you start to get really discontented with the work. So there's always that pull factor, especially when your supervisors kind of push you down or something like that, and you start to feel, what, I'm gonna do something next week. I'm gonna start my own thing.
Quit.
Yeah, but you never got around to doing it. So I didn't get around to do it. So the thing that made me switch was actually a push. It was out of necessity because the headquarters, which is based in US, they closed down the Singapore office.
Yeah.
And we were all let go.
Oh, wow.
And that's where I kind of made the decision. At this point, I have to try going out on my own before I go find another job. Otherwise, I will never know. So, and I, as I mentioned, I had a very caring ex-boss who mentored me at least through the first part of my journey. So it was both pull and push, I guess.
In that time when you were let go, did you still have like some kind of a backup? Did you, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, were you scared that you have like no income coming now and you need to suddenly just go and find something, right? Because you have a family, you have kids.
Definitely. And because at that time, my wife was pregnant with my first child.
Oh,
and like all these things like came crashing down, and we were waiting for our first house. So we know that, mortgages are going to come really soon. So, but I just took it as, I'm just going to give it 3 months. I'm just going to give it 6 months. And then over the course of those 3 months, I start to feel like, hey, this could work. And we just keep pushing and pushing. And three months became 6 months, became 1 year, and then became 2 years. And the next thing I know, it's been 5 years or coming to 6 years now.
Wow.
So it's just that kind of like constant grind and push, I guess.
Yeah. But also, like, you also had a passion for it, though, right? You also had this really, what you're doing, you love, right? And that's what really made you want to stick to it.
Definitely. I mean, the thing that made me start this whole thing is because I've always wanted to, back then I always wanted to be doing something in the creative world, the design world. And I saw how design can impact like a company's image, a brand, and how it impacts marketing. So I got really interested in that, and I wanted to see how I can do whatever I did in the previous company and apply it to like a lot of businesses, especially like the small businesses who really deserve a good shot because they are really good people. They believe in good things. They are out there to change the world. No matter how small, it's for the better, right? And they could really use that help. So that was the kind of mindset for doing that in the first place. Yeah, I've been very, very blessed over the last 6 years.
Yeah, I love that. I think you're right. Like, I think a lot of small businesses, right? They're like, the small business owners are just like us. The normal people that just want to do something for themselves and they want to grow something, but they're just struggling with with either their marketing or their branding or they're finding clients or finding people. And I know that could be a struggle for a lot of people. And I guess that's where, and I was having a conversation with a friend of mine literally about 2 days ago. And she was saying to me, like, Sadiq, sometimes in life we all need a guide. That's what she said. You can call it a coach, you can call it a mentor, you can call it, whoever, your mom, your dad, you can call them whoever you want, but you just need the guide. Like, you need something or someone to guide you because it's just really hard to go through life alone. Right? It's hard to do things alone in life. It's like when people go to the gym, most of the time, almost 99% of the time, you will do an extra 5 push-ups if there was a personal trainer there with you pushing you to do the extra 5. If your friend or a personal trainer wasn't there with you to push you the extra bit, then you wouldn't do it. We are our own like biggest critique, right? We always stop ourselves from pushing ourselves to the max we can. And then, but if you have a coach or a mentor or someone that comes into your life, they always know your potential and be like, hey, I know you are really good at this and I know that you can really push yourself more. I just think you're being a little lazy and you're comfortable, like you're too comfortable. And sometimes we need to come, and I'm just speaking for myself anyway, from my own kind of journey where I've helped so many people just push them out of their comfort zone. Bro, I don't know, like it's countless amount of people that I've actually helped go. By the way, I don't have a social media business, right? But the countless amount of people that I had conversations in my DMs on Instagram to help them make video content, to make them comfortable enough to say, hey, Sadiq's right. Like I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of wisdom and I want to share it. I'm just scared of this stupid camera. Why? Why am I scared of this stupid camera? It's stopping me from sharing my love and wisdom and energy with the world. because I care about what people think about me. That's it. The one question that they all stuck with. Why am I caring what people think about me? And I just helped so many people just overcome that barriers through my own experience. Because, bro, over 6 years ago, I was super shy. I couldn't speak to women. I used to play Call of Duty, go to work, come back home, eat, sleep, repeat. That was my life. I had no purpose. I had no passion. I was happy driving my BMW. I was happy going to work in the bank, coming home and playing games. Like I was comfortable and I was happy. But I always knew I wanted more. Like you said, like in a job, after being there for 2, 3 years, I was like, is this it? Like there's no more challenge. I know how to do everything. I'm super good at my job. Like there's no challenge. It's too easy. And that's what makes you push like, hey, what do I really want to do in life? Like that's when you question yourself, right? Or some people say, the midlife crisis or something. That's not my midlife crisis because I was like 21 at the time. But I guess when you start asking questions to the world and the universe, you start getting answers through opportunities or people that come into your life.
Totally, man. Totally.
And I don't know how much do you believe in like the law of attraction or, like if you put out good into the world, you receive good back into your life. Have you ever read the?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things you mentioned. Like I went through that a lot, and I think I still do. I have issues with like. I think that there's things like it's called imposter syndrome. It's called problems like accepting who you are, where you know you have value, but you don't really open up and share as much because you're not sure what people will think of that output that you have. But I'm just curious, like, how do you overcome that yourself, and how do you tell people that they are so-called like they're worthy enough to share? I guess.
You know what, bro? I just keep it super simple. I just asked them one question that I asked myself, which was the first step that I did was I asked myself this question. One day I was sitting right here behind me on my bed, and I was just like, I was on my phone, I was on social media, and I just had this moment, and I was like. And at that time, I wasn't making any videos. I was like about 1 year into personal growth. So I was reading all these books. I was learning so much from Rich Dad Poor Dad, how to win friends and influence people, think and grow rich. And like, remember, that's the first time I really started knowing the word personal growth and mindset because I never heard of it in my life. I was just taught to be a worker, right? Go get a good education and work for someone else. My parents, nobody I know was in business. Nothing. I have no experience. They have no experience. So I had to go and figure life out by myself. So after a year in personal growth, can you imagine like learning about all these amazing, wise people who are like changing their world and changing their life? And there's me reading their books, forcing myself to read because I hated it. I don't like reading, but I forced myself to read at the beginning. Then I went into audiobooks and stuff like that. But bro, then I just asked myself this question, just came into my mind one day, and it was like, Sadiq, why are you being so selfish? Why are you being so selfish? Because you're learning so much and you've actually become this much more confident. And, I became a bit more confident from the shy person that I was. In 1 year, I became, somewhat quite confident enough to make a video. And I just asked myself, why are you being so selfish? Why are you learning? Imagine how many people can literally learn from these things that you're learning. They've never read the book. But imagine you went and made a video and just shared, this is what I learned from this book. And I was just like, so why are you being so selfish? And why do you care so much about the people around you? Because let's be honest, that's the biggest thing that we will struggle with. And you know what, man? When I answered those questions myself, because I believe nobody can answer them for you until you are comfortable enough to just be like, you know what? I don't give a crap anymore. Like, I don't care. And I literally said this to myself. I was like, I don't care what my mom thinks, my dad, my friends are going to laugh at me for sure. They're going to be like, who the hell are you? Like, who are you making, videos? You think you're the next Asian Tony Robbins and stuff, I knew people will laugh. I knew this. I accepted it, and I was consciously aware that I know people will laugh at me. I know my parents will be like, what the hell are you doing? This is weird. Like, why are you making videos online? I knew my sisters would just be like, why are you wasting your time? Right? I just knew people are going to be negative. I knew it. I accepted it. I was self-aware, but I was like, I don't care. I was going to do it anyways because I didn't want to be the selfish boy in the world who doesn't add value and help someone, inspire someone in the world. I didn't want to be the one who doesn't add value into the world. And so when I answered those two questions, I literally was like, I no longer care. Like for me, it was just a switch. And it took time because at the beginning when I was making videos, yes, I was confident, but I wasn't still myself. Like I wasn't fully myself. I still had the passion and the energy that I had. Bear in mind, that comes from a lot of natural passion and energy that I have anyways in my life. But I just had this thing in my mind where why am I being selfish? And who cares what people think, man? Like, because one day someone's going to get to know the real you. Your wife, your friend, someone. They're going to get to know the 100% real version of Ferdaus. So why are you hiding it from the world anyway? Because one day you might be in an article. One day you might be on a podcast like you are today. You're going to have to be yourself because life is too short. And if you're not being yourself, then what are you doing? Like, you're like, nobody's ever gonna, like, don't you want to be remembered? Like, you're doing business for what? So nobody in the world knows your business. Everybody's in business because they want to be known. They want to build a company. They want to be successful in business. Nobody starts a business thinking, I want to start this business, but I don't really care if I don't make money or if I don't grow, right? Nobody thinks like that. Everybody thinks big, like, yes, I'm going to start this business and I want to go change the world. As you said, the small business owners, right? They all have this, they want to bring the goodness into the world. But bro, I think if you just answer those two questions for yourself, number one, why are you being selfish? Because you are. Everybody that's listening right now, you are being selfish. You are not sharing something that you know that someone else out there doesn't know. So one of my mentors once taught me this really cool concept, which I hope everybody can just go and just implement this one little concept. It's called ILT. It stands for invest in yourself, learn something new every day, and then teach others. ILT. Invest in yourself, invest in yourself, learn something new, teach others. And I've been doing that for the past 6 years. And I think, bro, that's how you overcome it. At the beginning, yes, it is hard. Just like I'm coaching one of my clients right now, and she's finding it really tough to make these videos online. But you know what she said to me the other day? She said, Sadiq, I'm so grateful that you're there pushing me and being that coach that's there because you genuinely care about my success. And she's making 3 videos a week 3 videos a day, on TikTok now, because I'm just there making her believe that, hey, you have so much to bring to the world. Your positive energy and your genuine experience of life, because she's older than me too. So like your genuine experience of life is going to inspire people in the world. You are being selfish. You are not sharing it with the world. You're so selfish. Don't you feel selfish that you're not sharing your experience and your wisdom with the world? And she's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. I am being selfish. Why do I care about what people think? Because again, she cared about what her friends are going to say, her colleagues at work. She's worried about what they're going to say about her videos. I was like, you know what? Who gives a crap? Like, are they going to pay your bill next week? Are they going to pay your mortgage? No. Are they paying your rent? No. Are they paying for your son's school fees? Nothing. They're not the most important person in your life, and they are not going to change your life in any positive way. So why care? Why worry? And then she goes like, yeah, you know what, Sadiq, you're right. I'm just going to go do me because that's what I'm passionate about. Right. And I think that's what you got to do, Ferdaus. But anytime you feel, and also another thing actually that really helped me was that, again, another mentor of mine shared this other kind of concept. And it's just basically asking yourself, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? What would the 10 times bolder version of Sadiq or what would the 10 times bolder version of Ferdaus do right now if I was that much of a confident version of myself? I would just do it, right? You wouldn't think twice. You wouldn't give a crap what people think. You wouldn't worry about other people's opinions. You would just go into the world and add value and be the most confident version of yourself. That is the second question that when you ask yourself, it really just snaps out of you and it just makes you want to just take action.
That's great, man.
That's what I think.
Yeah, very helpful.
What are you thinking now? What are you thinking about what I just shared?
Because like it's I think it goes back to one of the things we talked about before, where you kind of need that external voice from time to time to just remind you, to just give you that push, because whatever belief, even if you've built up that belief in yourself, there'll always be events or maybe comments that will just push you down again, and then you start to feel that low self-esteem or self-worth, and you just need to keep your purpose in mind and just hold on to that as strongly as possible, and come back up and just go out there again. Because if you just give up, then again you're being selfish, right?
Yeah,
you're denying others of what you could potentially share and benefit them. So yeah, it's absolutely right.
For sure, bro. And I think a lot of people just need to understand that, like, you're just being selfish, basically. You're just not sharing your value with the world because you have value. if you're listening right now, you have some power, something that you have that's so unique that someone else in the world doesn't have, right? And don't tell me, oh, I'm shy and like, that's why I'm not doing it. I just told you, you guys already listen to my podcast every week. They already know, bro, like that I used to be super shy. If I can become this super confident version of myself, speak on the TEDx stage, do all of this crazy thing that I've already done, and now starting a business coaching journey, I think anybody in the world, like, bro, I'm still like pinch myself sometimes thinking, Sadiq, are you really doing this? Like when I got my first client, I was like, oh my days, like, are you actually doing this? Like you're actually going to smash this coaching business? Like you're going to do this new journey? I'm like, yeah. You know why? Because I built so much self-worth and I built so much, powerful growth mindset within me that I believe so much in myself to know that I have so much value that I'm going to change people's life. That's the key. I know that I'm super confident that I'm going to change people's life. That's how confident you have to be in whatever you're doing in life. I'm sure, bro, when you started your business, at the beginning, you were very unsure of how it's going to go. You're going to fail, you're going to make mistakes. Tell everybody, how did you manage to find the confidence to be running now for 6 years? Like, what kept you going and how did you find the confidence, basically?
So, I don't think it ever got away. Like it didn't subside at all. This uncertainty, unsureness, whether you're going to make it or not, or whether this is really legit. Like, you pinch yourself all the time. Like, is this really happening? Am I really running a business with 10 people, 6 years? And then from time to time, you always doubt yourself as well. Like here I am talking about branding when there's all these greats out there that I'm still learning from, and how can I be even comparable to them? So that is always happening at all times. To answer your question, what kept me going is sometimes it's just looking at the faces of the people that are under your charge and realizing that this isn't just, it's not fun and games anymore. This is serious. This is responsibility. This is obligations. And it's not something, while it's driven by passion, it's also coupled with a sense of responsibility and, just being an adult and being responsible for something that you've started and that had gained momentum, that you got other people on board and their families as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, while it's all resting on your shoulders, there's so much reward in just going through that day by day and making sure everything is running okay. And, even, when payday comes, you make those payments and you realize you're actually contributing to their livelihoods. And there's so much fulfillment just coming from that. Even like, I went into this because I love design, but honestly, I have not done much design for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I definitely miss that, but the role that I'm doing right now is very rewarding in a different sense because I'm able to let other people who love design work on stuff like that and get paid for it. So
kind of just like passing the baton on to the next people, right? And kind
definitely.
Of hitting yourself.
Yeah.
No,
so that's the thing that pushed me for most of the time. Actually, even right now in this pandemic period. Yeah.
So what would you do? What do you do when you feel down then? Like when you don't feel like doing it, when you feel like today is just I'm not feeling like doing anything. What do you do on those days?
So, and this advice was actually from my mentor, my ex-boss. It's the funniest advice. He said, when things are really down, take the day off. So it's like, you're not Superman, or you're not expected to just be at 100% all the time. You acknowledge that you yourself is a human being, and when you accept that kind of vulnerability, you kind of understand that your teammates, your staff will have those days as well, and you won't come down as hard on them as well because you face that kind of stuff, and you allow yourself to take a break. So you can't expect the same, the same kind of like maintain 100% efficiency for everybody else in business. And I think that adds to the culture, right? Even though when things are getting tough and then people just start to drop off, or I can't take this right now, I'm too tired. Everybody's working from home, sometimes with the kids. So it just gets really stressful sometimes. And you just have to be more understanding actually, even during difficult times. So apparently that's really good advice, because when you had taken that day off, you start to feel like, okay, I need to get back. I've rested enough. I have all these responsibilities to go back into, and to get things running again. And I think it really helps psychologically just get back into the game.
Yeah, I think it's like, basically it's a recharge, right? It's like when your phone battery goes down to 20% and it goes to the orange bar on iPhone or the red bar, you suddenly panic, right? Oh my days, I need to find a charger. That's a bit like us, right? That's a bit like us. When we get to the red bar, we lose energy. Some days, like, you're just super tired or you're just stressed out, too much happening, and you genuinely need to go charge yourself back again. And I think everybody has their own way of doing it. As you said, some people is taking a day off and just relax, do nothing, literally do nothing. Some people just love doing nothing. Some people like me want to go work out, right? Or go for a walk, go in nature. That's how we recharge, right? Or like sometimes something that I used to do before the pandemic was my way in my week, bro. Every week I used to have one day a week where I used to go to the cinema by myself and watch a movie by myself. Because I used to zone out for those 1.5 to 2 hours. I put my phone on silent or switch it off, and I was completely not distracted from the outside world, and I was just focused on watching this movie by myself, with some popcorn and like a cold coffee or something, and just sitting there and just enjoying the movie with myself, to enjoy that time to just relax and do nothing, and just enjoy a movie, right? For me, that was my way of just completely cutting down of the outside world, distractions, everything. Everybody has their own way of doing something. For some it's fitness, for some it's that walk, for some it's taking a day off, for some it could just be literally, having enough sleep, right? Because some people just don't sleep enough, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to sleep 10 hours today and catch up with all my sleep.
Yeah, you forget your basic necessities, right? People forget to eat, they forget to take care of themselves.
Especially when you're in business, right? Like, you get those days where you forgot to eat, or you forgot to have your dinner or your lunch, or you're sleeping less because you're staying up so late.
Absolutely. And I think that's the other side of it, right? Like, of course, taking the day off really helped, but speaking to like relevant, I won't say relevant, like specific kind of people, I guess, really helps as well. Like, for example, like this conversation right now, it's, to use your term, it's really recharging the mindset as well, especially the tips that you've provided earlier on. So because that's the stuff I face every day, every other day. Even there are days where I felt really confident and start sharing, and then you go weeks where I don't upload anything, and then I don't know what I was thinking back then, But having that kind of this kind of feedback is really helpful as well. So it's the complete rest and shutting off at the same time. It's also that dynamic recharge. So it's both.
For sure, yeah. It's like 50-50. You need both. You need to recharge. You need to also have the motivation. And like I tell people as well, sometimes you just need to also have an inner motivation. That's something even more deeper. That comes back to your compelling reason why you're even doing what you're doing. It comes back to your why. Simon Sinek talks a lot about that in his book. Like, start with what. Like, it comes back really deep into, like, why are you even doing what you're doing right now? Just ask yourself. Literally, if you're listening right now, I want you to close your eyes. And I literally want you to just ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing right now in my life? Whether it's your job, whether it's your studies, whether it's your business. Why are you doing it? Who is it for? Is it for someone else, or is it for you? Is it for your own future? Is it for the person that you want to become, a few years from today? Or is it because you're impressing your friends, or you're impressing your family, or you're doing it for your friends? Because I can almost guarantee you right now, if you're listening to me, then whatever you're doing, if it's for someone else right now, then you're going to fail. You're going to lose. And you're going to regret it later on. I'd rather you go and keep doing what you're doing. No one is telling you to leave your studies or your job. I'm still working, guys. I keep saying every single day to my podcast and every my content, like, guys, I still work full time in an American investment bank. Okay, I know how it feels to work and trying to run a business, or doing social media and making content, being a content creator. I know how it feels. Trust me, I'm busier than a lot of people that I know in my life. However, I know why I'm doing it. I know I can't wait to see the smile on my mum's face when I buy that thing for her, when the thing that she wanted her whole life that we can't afford right now. When I make enough money by serving and helping others in the world, that's going to make me feel amazing. Same time, I'm going to make income in a way that I love, because I love something that Gary Vee shared that I live by. And it's literally this one concept of, I don't really care how much money I make in my life. I care about how I'm going to make my money. That's it. So the way I'm going to serve people through coaching, if I don't help someone get results in coaching, I'm gonna like beat myself up, because I'm gonna be like, Sadiq, why are you doing this for money? You should be doing this to literally serve and help people. And as I said, for the last 6 years in my content, I've never made a single pound in my whole 6-year journey of being a content creator, making YouTube videos, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, every platform I'm on, and I've never made a single penny. I never sold anything, nothing. I was doing my own business at the time for over 5 years. That didn't go so well. So I got out of that, and I started doing speaking. All my speaking gigs were free. I never got paid for a single speaking gig. TEDx was free. Everything was free. I never got paid for nothing. Instead, I had to pay to go there, right? To travel, to all the money that I invested in myself was my own money. So yeah, bro, it just comes back to, just the belief in yourself. You got to find that compelling reason, and then you got to believe that you can do it. And like you said, man, sometimes you just do need that person to guide you, a coach, a mentor. It doesn't have to be like Sadiq doesn't have to be there. It could just be like how I just follow Gary Vee. It could be someone online that you just really respect and look up to in your field. Follow them, learn from their content, and implement. The biggest thing is they don't take action, man. I'm like the guy that's like, come on, guys, you need to consistently take action. And they're like, yeah, but this, and they go overthink, and they, take some notes. I'm like, scrap the notes, go and take action. I made a video that also went viral called "Stop Reading Books." The title was "Stop Reading Books," and I did it I did it as a psychological experiment. That video, because I was like, if I title this video "Stop Reading Books," I know for sure people will stop at that video to be like, what is this moron talking about? Books are amazing. Books are full of like knowledge and wisdom. But they watch the rest of the video and they're like, okay, we understand. He's saying stop reading books and watching videos, but implement and take action on those things that you learn from the books. Otherwise, it's just useless knowledge in your brain that you're doing nothing with.
It's also that human psychology that you get satisfaction, you get that dopamine rush just by consuming this kind of content. And if you don't take action, it's all right, because you felt like you've done something with it, But the reality is nothing has been done until you start literally to do something with it. So
bro, tell us a little bit about how do you take action? Like how do you commit, or how do you prioritize your time? Actually, that's more important. How do you prioritize your time to make sure that you take action on the daily tasks?
Okay, so I think at this point I just want to share the one kind of framework that has helped me tremendously throughout my business, and I believe it was David Allen who came up with Getting Things Done.
Yeah.
The kind of methodology, and all the apps that we use, from Asana, previously it was Omni, I can't remember the app, Things, all these kind of apps really help you to have a bias towards action. So we know that building something is never a result of one miraculous action or action point. It's always, you can't even count the number of steps, micro steps to reach a certain level in order to achieve something that you kind of envision. So the focus on a daily basis is always, how do we move from just this point to this point, and then the next day, and just moving the whole company in that direction, instead of people going all over the place, having different kind of priorities. So it's always important to have that kind of communication session to get everybody aligned, and then apply this Getting Things Done methodology, bias towards action, where everything we discuss has to have an action point and has to have who's responsible for it, when is it due, and then we basically govern our day. We self-manage using these kind of apps, and that's our, I guess, our hack. Otherwise, there's too much management overhead. You can't afford to have that while running a small team like that.
So like having systems and a bit of automation in place, you mean?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, because there's only so much that we as one person can manage, right? It's really hard to have to give enough energy to everybody specifically, and like trying to help everybody one at a time. We can bring them all together in one group thing and just do it all in one time.
Yeah, and it's more about empowering your team rather than managing them, because I mean, when I had the day job, I never appreciated when I had to be managed, because especially when there's middle management that came into the picture, they start to ask me what am I doing today and do this like it's very top down. I don't appreciate that at all. I would very much prefer, give me an objective. I will do everything in my power to get there for the company.
Yeah.
And I think I have to treat my team with the same respect that I demanded back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, but I think it's so important, and it reminds me of something about leadership, where, in my opinion, leadership is leading by example and being a servant leader yourself first. So it's not about being a boss and managing and dictating to people what to do. It's about, hey, how do you feel? How it's like asking people, how would you feel if you did this? Like if I gave you this task, how do you feel about it? Do you think you can do it? Are you okay with doing it? Do you think it's going to be too hard for you? It's like asking questions. I read a book a long time ago called Questions Are the Answers. And like it just came to my mind now, like it's such a powerful book because it just reminded me, Sadiq, you need to learn how to really get good at communication skills and ask people questions that are open-ended so people give you the answers.
yeah.
Rather than you giving the answer and saying, hey, you need to do this for me or for the company, ask them how do they feel about doing that. Are they open to do it? Are they okay to do that? Do they think that if I give them this task, it's possible for them to complete it to the best of their ability? And then it's about empowering them to say, hey, look, you can do this. I think I'm giving this task to you specifically because I think you are the best person in the team that can really get this done.
Yeah. I
Right?
think that kind of communication would really impact the person on the other hand, on the side of it, the receiving side, and you would really want them to go all out for you rather than pen and paper. What should I take? Order taker kind of mindset, right? What should I do today?
Yeah.
Versus like, okay, what can I do today for the benefit of this company who's going in the same direction that I want to be in? So it's really setting a vision. And this is the thing about branding that I learned coming from my day job previously, where it starts internally. The culture of the company all plays a part towards the whole holistic brand before it even leaves the company and gets to the eyes of the audience.
Yeah.
So, and if the culture is rotten, and no matter how amazing your mission statement, your logo, and all that stuff, people are just going to see through it. And when people interface or customer service or whatever, they're just going to see that you're full of bullshit, and it's just not going to work.
I agree, man. I think it's, especially in branding, I think it's just all about transparency these days. People just want to know the brand inside and out. They want to know everything from how they started to how they finish to how they operate to who works there to what's the mission, the values, the principles. I think it's all about transparency, and like the more that is why I love personal branding a lot, because I think when you have a business and you match it with your personal brand, when people get to know who the person started the business is, if they love that person, they're gonna love your business. They're gonna love the branding and the ethics or the values of the business because you started it. And if they've been following you for X amount of time, or you're putting out good value or good content in the world, they trust. One thing our mentor told me a long time ago was people buy you, Sadiq. They don't buy your product or service. They couldn't care less about a new webcam. They don't give a crap. They got their webcam on their laptop already. Why would they buy a new webcam? Well, the reason why I'm saying webcam is because I just got a new one. And, in my mind, I'm just thinking back then, that mentor of mine taught me, Sadiq, nobody ever buys a product or service. They actually buy into the person selling the benefits of the product or the service. It's the benefits that we buy. So if you are a good communicator and you can communicate the benefits of buying something, or in terms of branding for you, if you can brand yourself in a way that these are the benefits of having our product or buying it through our brand, is that they trust and they love the vulnerability and the openness of your brand. So they buy it because of the values and the principles of you, not because they need that product. Because nobody needs products. We love products and services in our life. Nobody needs it. They just want to know. They want to feel good and look cool potentially to buy that thing that you're promoting. But they're buying it because of you, not because it's Apple. Right? They bought because of Steve Jobs. We buy. I still buy Apple products today because I know Steve Jobs was an amazing person, changed the world. His whole perspective and mindset was, to change the world and just keep life simple, just like the products.
Absolutely. And you can't run from it. This is the age we are in right now. We can't avoid it. Maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you can hide behind a very corporate front, but you can't do that anymore. Look at, I would definitely quote Steve Jobs for this. You can look at like Elon Musk for Tesla with his quirkiness and his shenanigans, and that basically Tesla is kind of like Tesla SpaceX. It's just his extension. It's him at the core. It's Elon Musk personified into brands, and that's what people would expect. I think mostly for brands to take on the core or the essence of the founder or the leader itself. I think that's 100%, and that's why it's so important. To your point again, where people, business leaders need to step up. They need to be in front of the camera. They need to talk to their audience, not hide behind a desk. So,
honestly, bro, I've been trying to teach people that for the past 6 years since I started making videos. Guys, stop hiding behind the screen. I always make this video. I always share every now and then this video of, everybody's watching you. Like everybody's watching you. Everybody's got eyeballs on you, right? Everybody's watching my content. Nobody comments on them, on my videos. They're all watching. They watch the stories on Instagram. They're watching your WhatsApp stories. They're watching everything, but they will never support you. They will never show love. They will never show a comment, but they're all watching you. So give them something good to watch, right? Give them more value. Give them more content until one day they desperately have to message you and be like, man, you are really doing some amazing, cool things. Or your brand or your business is really doing well. I've seen you over here or there. It just comes back to really staying in your lane. Stay on your lane and focus on your life and avoid all the distractions. And if you consistently take action, as I always say, things start happening.
And would you consider depending on feedback, depending on that dopamine rush from the likes and the comments, would those actually be distractions as well? Because when you're starting out and even the first few likes or comments could be motivational for you, and when you lack those things, it could be devastating for you. Like, I put in so much effort on this, and who cares? So what's your thought on that?
My answer to that every time, and what even now I'm teaching my client is like, hey, I just want you to make content on one thing that it is that you love every day, and please don't worry about the numbers. I genuinely told her, the first thing I told her was, hey, I don't want you to worry about the likes and numbers. I just want you to make 3 videos a day at this time, post it out there, and go back. If you have any comments, reply to them all, because you're going to get some of them later at some point. You're going to reply to them all. You're going to be there for them, to be of service and show them that you care, because they took time out of their life, wherever they are. They liked your content. They left a comment, something positive. And if it's something negative, hey, look, if you're the type of person that's going to get influenced and impacted by a negative comment, then just like Gary Vee says, have empathy for that person that's in a dark place in their life, that they have nothing going for them, that they have the decency to come onto your video, watch a 1-minute video, and then actually leave a negative comment because their life sucks right now. They're in a bad place. They're in somewhere dark, but they have nothing good to say, but they just want to bring people down with them. So have empathy. Like, feel sorry for that person. Why are you caring about this, Trump 365 who just messaged on your Instagram, right? Why do you care? I genuinely, like, when I told her to do? I like, when you have a negative comment, do you know how you stay not affected by it or stay positive about it? Send them a love heart. Send them a love heart. Send them love back, because they're in a bad place. They need to see some positivity. Send them a little positive, emoji with a love heart. Send them some love back and see how they respond, if they even respond. Because loads of these people are in a bad place. And if you're caring about those negative people, either block them. If it genuinely affects you, block them, delete the comment. Those are the 2 things, like, physically you could do. But in terms of, like, really not worrying about the metrics and the numbers, I'm telling you guys, the more you don't worry about numbers on your social media account, the better content you put out. Imagine if your social media accounts didn't have numbers on them. Just imagine if someone followed me and they didn't know how many followers I had or how many likes and comments I had on my videos. You would only click follow on my account if you thought there's some value there. Right? If you thought that this guy puts out good content, his videos are good, he's informational, he's valuable, or he's inspirational, or this brand is really putting out quality, like good quality content that I'm learning from, that I can implement in my life. If it doesn't bring that kind of positive energy or that kind of good vibes into your life, then you're not going to follow that brand, right? You're not going to follow that person. And for me, it comes back to just putting out content that you believe in from the heart, and you just put it out every day without worrying about the comments and the likes and all of this stuff. That stuff's going to come. As I said, that one video that I had that went viral, that's going to come at some point, but only like me if you believed in yourself for 6 years, putting the good content out. It's about patience, and it's about just consistently putting out value or branded content on what it is that you love. That has to be the forefront. And only then you will never quit. You will never not want to post. You will always post because you're not doing it for the likes or the numbers. And something else that I also do is I don't get high on my own supply too. If I put out good content, I don't get excited. I get loads of comments, man. I get amazing feedback from everybody. But if I always be like, hey, I'm the best, Sadiq is doing I make the best content, my content is better than everyone else's, blah, blah, blah. If you get too high on your own supply and you think you become a somebody, then you start going downhill. Your ego gets to you, you will die, you will have no humbleness. People will see right through you and be like, this guy is just an idiot. Like, he's just getting excited about his good comments and he thinks he's better than everyone else. Mm-hmm. And it's a constant battle, killing your ego and humbling yourself.
Correct. And it's definitely not easy. I think there's a lot of hurdles to it. Some of the people that I talk to, it's even worse, where they're just about to start on this. Okay, fine, I accepted that I'm going to be on social media. I'm going to be in front of camera. When am I going to start seeing ROI? When am I going to start to see money coming in because of this? Like, you're jumping all the way there. You haven't even jumped the first hurdle, You haven't even got comfortable with the fact of you sharing your own content. So there's a lot of setting expectations that needs to be done.
At that point, you have to teach people patience and basically you have to teach people patience and just that you're not going to get results fast. If you want results fast, don't even bother making videos. Don't put content out. You know what? Don't even hire me. I'm not the right person for you to hire. Go find someone else that's going to find you a quick get rich quick scheme or get you to make money fast, because I'm not for you. We are about long term. We are about patience. We're about helping you genuinely build a good, like a solid brand that's going to be there for life, and people will remember you the way people remember Apple. Apple didn't just start and blow up, right? It took him years to grow it. And so for me, I do things very differently, and I just tell people, look, if you're not serious, if you're not going to be patient, and if you're going to care about what people think about you, this is not for you. So rather just go somewhere else, find another coach, find another brand, find another business partner, find some different friend. Like, this is not for you. Stick to your job, stick to what you're doing, because this is clearly not for you, right? And sometimes you just got to be direct. You just sometimes have to be so direct that person be like, no, you know what? You're right. I want to do it with you because you're so. That's a little bit like a psychology trick as well, because it's like, hey, I don't really need you, right? I would have changed your business and changed your life. But because you rejected me, or because you're saying that you want quick results, and I'm telling you that we don't do quick results, if you don't like that, go somewhere else. We don't need you. There's other people in the world that want to build better brands. But 5 years from now, don't come back to our company and be like, well, now we want to work with you because you've seen our clients do really well. Or you see suddenly our brand's like killing it after 5 years, and you're still there trying to make money quick and nothing's moving.
Yeah,
still figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think to end it, I would say, actually for you, bro, one thing I want to kind of end the conversation on before I ask you these questions is, for the people that are still listening, what advice would you give them to stick to what they're doing, to really like find the one thing that their purpose and their passion is in life, and to really stick to it and basically not give up?
Right. So I'm applying this for myself, and just now I mentioned that it's not just about looking in the eyes of my employees and knowing that we've got responsibility. I think there's 3 components to it. If you can visualize a Venn diagram, you've got to have you got to take care of your own happiness. If you're not happy doing this, you're going to burn out. You're going to lose the drive. So there's happiness, and then you got to understand your expertise. Like what are you really good at? And you got to get that validated by yourself and by the people that find value from what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll be maybe talking about, say, I can't, for the life of me, I can't go around saying that I'm a tennis coach or I'm a fitness coach, because I'm just not that. So don't fool yourself on that end. So happiness, expertise, and the third point is your, I would say, obligations, right? This is where being an adult is not always fun and games. It's also that you have bills to pay. What makes it work? If you're chasing passion and you're neglecting your family, that's not going to work as well. So these three things kind of have to work hand in hand. And like for me, part of the obligations is actually my worldview and my belief, my whatever belief I have in the way I see the world plays a huge role in my decisions and on a day-to-day basis on why I wake up and go to work every day. So to just keep going, you need to summarize, it's kind of like be aligned at all times. And at any time you feel misaligned, I would say get a coach, get somebody to nudge you back into the right track, because self-awareness is where you don't have any limits and you don't doubt yourself every single step of the way, and you can really go far and fast. Otherwise, you'll be like doing one thing and taking 2 steps back, and then like reassessing and you overthink everything. Yeah. So that would be my take on it.
I love that, man. I can really visualize in my head the diagram of what you just shared. I think it's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that, bro. Really, really grateful, man. And really, really appreciate everything that you shared as well. I'm going to move on to the end of my podcast. I always have this thing called the final 4. I'm going to ask you 4 questions, and it's literally the first answer that comes to your head.
Okay.
Cool. So the first question I have for you specifically is, in one sentence, how would you describe the word principles? So what are principles to Ferdaus?
Principles is whatever you have been brought up with and you believe, without trying to comply to somebody else's standards. So this is, you of course you're bringing it. You have to take into consideration the stuff that you are influenced with as you grow up. Yeah. But these are things that you hold on for yourself, not because of other people's standards. So that's principles, I think.
I love that. So true. I could definitely resonate with that. It's actually so super powerful. Okay, thank you for sharing that. The second question I have is, what one movie or a documentary would you recommend all the listeners to go and check out, because they can learn something from it? It's going to help their growth in their mindset, or it's just a positive kind of film or movie or documentary that you've seen that's really impacted you in your life that you can remember?
Oh, there's just so many. Okay, top of my mind, because that's the nature of these questions. There was a point in time where watching Casey Neistat, especially during the time where he was building, I think, 368.
Yeah.
That kind of, and in relation to the content creation, especially, that was really motivational and not just entertaining, but motivational as well.
True. I still remember his YouTube videos in the beginning, right?
Really good stuff. I mean, I follow his journey and his ups and downs. I wouldn't consider his failures as failures, because they're just part of the journey. And we get a window into everything he's going through. So it's awesome. Love it.
Amazing. Make sure you guys go and check him out. Okay, third question is now, which one book? I know there's probably loads of books that you've read, bro, and that's helped you so much on your journey. But which one, from the top of your mind, would you say, guys, you have to go and read this book? It's going to genuinely help you so much.
You're right. There's so many. Okay, one that impacted me a lot was this. Does it have to be a business book?
No, it could be any. It could be any book that's just somehow it's helped you on your journey. It could be creativity. It could be fiction, non-fiction, anything. But something that you think, if someone reads this, they'll have some kind of a paradigm shift. Something good will happen in their life.
Right. I'm gonna break the rule and say 2.
Okay, go for it.
The first one was this book by Blair Enns. It's called Win Without Pitching.
Okay.
It's especially relevant to my industry because it's where you have to change your mindset from being an order taker, being a commodity provider into something more premium, something more exclusive, and you can't put a price tag to it. So it's how you it's a mindset shift, definitely, of how we move from being one in the huge ocean of fish into the one thing that people seek.
Yeah.
So that's one. And what has taught me a lot about branding is any book by Martin Neumeyer. So Zach, The Brand Gap. Okay, I'm giving you more than two now. So, any book by Martin Neumeyer is really gold to me. I use those stuff in my day-to-day practice of my business.
Love it. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, bro. Okay, the last question is a bit deeper. So now you're gonna have to put your thinking cap on. If you can spend a few hours of your life to learn from someone's wisdom, whether that person is dead or alive, who would that one person be in your life and why? Anybody you like, someone that you can learn from, someone that you want to just always been wanting to ask questions or want to just be around them.
I mean, that's okay. Since it is a deep question, and I'm trying to think of other people, but I can't get this one person out of my head. So I'm just going to be frank about it. So if such a situation even presents itself to me, right, naturally, the most instinctively answer I would give would be the Holy Prophet Muhammad SAW, because there's no better example from my point of view other than our Prophet. And it's not just business; it's leadership, it's family, it's every aspect of your life. We all pretty much learn from him. So you can. I can't think of anyone else if that kind of opportunity presents itself.
I actually agree, bro. And someone actually directed the question at me once and said, "Who's your person?" And I said the same thing because, coming from a Muslim, a religion, and coming from our upbringing, this is the one person why we genuinely live our life for. Right? This is the one person we kind of we from his practices and principles we learn from him, and there's no better example, in my opinion, in our opinion, in like how everything you can learn from this person. Kindness, love, peace, compassion, empathy, just leadership, charitable, friendly, just everything that you can think of. Like if you name any characteristic, this person had them all, and literally taught us from over 1400 years ago how to be living your life in the most simple way. No complications, no overthinking, simple life.
And everything is 100% relevant today.
Definitely. Even more, I think, than ever before.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Ferdaus, thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate this conversation. Thank you for all the value and all the amazing things that you're doing in your life. If anybody listening wants to go and reach out to you, ask for some, they need help with their branding, they need help with some advice or their business, or just want to ask you a question, which platforms can they reach you on that you live on the most?
You can reach me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or you can go to the company website. All my links are there. Oh, wait, can I just plug in my website? So thefirdaus.com.
Yeah, do you want to just spell it out for everybody, just so the people listening, they can just check it out?
Sure. So it's THEFERDAUS.com.
Perfect.
So that's where I put all my personal thoughts on how things are going in the world. But Sadiq, I want to thank you. Actually, I've learned a lot from this podcast, and it's been very refreshing, recharging. And yeah, I'm walking away with a lot more motivation. Actually, so I really appreciate this conversation.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad, bro. That's why I do these podcasts, because as much as I want to learn from my guest, for me, it's a conversation that I just want to have with someone that's really passionate about what they do in life, that's literally has a dream, has that ambition and passion to do something bigger and better with their life. And it's a two-way thing. We have a conversation. This is why I believe surrounding ourselves with good people, doesn't matter how successful or not. That's not a factor in how I live my life. I live my life with, if you are a good person with a good heart and you're doing something, you're taking action in your life. Because again, you can meet people that are good people, that have a good heart, but they're not doing anything with it, right? And you like, why would you want to have them on your podcast if they're not doing anything themselves? They can be a good person, but you have to do something. Like, how are you impacting the world? So I only have those conversations on my podcast with those who are doing something, who are ambitious, who are passionate, and who are changing the world. As much as they learn from my energy, and hopefully I give that recharge to them. I learn so much from them, and this is why I love podcasting. Is because it just gives me an opportunity to just spread love and add value and just wisdom into the world, that people could just listen to this episode and be like, hey, I learned so much from these two guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thanks so much to all the audience who's listening in to right now.
Definitely. And guys, make sure you go reach out to Ferdaus. Honestly speaking, you've already heard him right now on the podcast. Great guy, so much wisdom, 6 years of experience in branding and business. So make sure you reach out to him if you have any questions, like you want anything answered. He is going to be super open to reply to you. I think LinkedIn is probably the best place as well, right? That you reply to a lot of your questions. So reach out to find his name on LinkedIn, and definitely reach out to him because he's going to big places. I love it, bro. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being on the Purposeful Mindset podcast. And hopefully I'll catch up with you soon, bro.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Cool. Take care. Peace out. If you're still there, I just want to say a massive thank you for your attention and your time. It really means a lot to me. Please do me one favor and subscribe to this podcast, share it with your friends, and leave a rating on whichever platform you're listening to this. It would honestly mean the world to me. Thank you so much once again. I hope that this episode brought value and inspiration into your life, and I'll see you guys next week.